Even if you're not familiar with the movie I'm about to talk about, some of you may have seen this production photo and thought to yourselves, what in the hell is that from? I know I sure did. So is the movie as crazy as that photo suggests? Well, you'll see.
You're eating out my heart and soul, babe. You're feasting on my better side.
Motel Hell is a 1980 horror comedy with an interesting production history. It was originally supposed to be directed by Texas Chainsaw Massacre director Tobe Hooper, but he dropped out before production on the movie started. And as a reminder, the last movie I reviewed that Tobe Hooper was supposed to direct was The Dark. Yeah. Anyway, the guy who took over for Tobe Hooper was none other than Kevin Connor, who made all those Doug McClure monster movies. Fine by me, I'll take giant rubber dinosaurs over this shit any day. Unfortunately, this movie doesn't have Doug McClure in it, but it does have Rory Calhoun. Rory Calhoun, one of the biggest cowboy stars of the 1950s? The guy from this Simpsons joke.
The person who's always standing and walking.
Rory Calhoun?
That's it!
Okay, for people more familiar with the kinds of movies featured on this show, he was also in Night of the Lepus, a movie about giant killer bunny rabbits, and also Hell Comes to Frogtown, a movie where Rowdy Roddy Piper battles mutant frogmen. So I have a feeling this won't be the last time I'll be seeing him. Rory plays farmer Vincent Smith, who runs a roadside motel, and he seems like a smart businessman. His sign also doubles as the opening credits. Oh, and in case you didn't know this was a horror movie, apparently there's a wolfman in it. In addition to the motel, Vincent also runs his own smoked meat business. Makes sense, considering this looks like it was filmed under a giant hot lamp. And does anyone else think Bernard Gribble would have been a better name for Rory's character? Well, the Simpsons weren't lying. Rory is indeed standing and walking in this movie. Oh, and he also watches people get into motorcycle accidents, and instead of calling for help, he just throws them in the back of his truck. Yeah, the Simpsons left that part out. One of the people involved in the accident is Terry, and Vincent takes her back to the motel where he lives with his sister Ida.
You're eating out my heart and soul, babe.
Anyone else feel like Ida just walked in from a John Waters movie?
Ida, come in here.
She's already in there.
Good Lord has chosen to pluck this flower away from the Grim Reaper. And I want to make good and sure he keeps his hands off her.
Okay, just please tell me you're not gonna put your hands on her. Never mind that, though. We've got even more extras from a John Waters movie to get to.
This is our souvenir sampler box. No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest-to-goodness hickory smoked meat. And you get all this for just $2.95.
I will say this, if Rory Calhoun's acting career didn't work out, he would have made one hell of a salesman. Hey girls, what are you doing? Don't go in there. The Overlook Hotel's the other way. And come on, movie. I love sausage, but don't show me how it's made. I don't need an erection right now. This whole place looks like what would happen if Jimmy Dean decided to make a haunted house. And you are not helping things, Vincent. Great, now every time someone sings Old MacDonald Had a Farm, they're gonna have a panic attack. A county sheriff drops by, presumably so he can tell them the place is haunted by a vengeful ghost carpenter. Joke's on him, though. It's actually haunted by the ghost of Rebel Wilson.
Ida, let Bruce go.
Just be glad she only grabbed your shoulders. I hear this actress can be a real ball breaker. This is Vincent's brother Bruce, who doesn't seem to have a problem with Vincent apparently kidnapping somebody.
I want to see Bo. Where is he?
He passed away this morning.
I don't believe it. I want to see him.
Okay, I know this is a lot to take in, but there's more important questions you should be asking right now, like who the hell changed your clothes when you were asleep? So let's see, you found someone who had a motorcycle accident and then buried him in the backyard like a dog without telling anyone, huh? Well, nothing suspicious going on here.
If she's any trouble for you, I could put her up with one of the county agencies.
Well, we're not exactly hurting for accommodations around here. Besides, we could use a little help.
She probably wants to go home. You think maybe you could give her a ride? No? Okay, so does she just live here now then?
I'm so confused. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
I don't know what you're still doing here either. Go home! But Farmer Vincent manages to convince Terry to stay.
Oh, the ways of the Lord are mysterious. The very fact that you're sitting here with us proves that it was preordained.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Alright, that was easy. Later that night, a health inspector comes by to get a closer look at Vincent's crops, and he discovers his terrible secret. Farmer Vincent's meat is people! It's people! And he's also a big fan of Enya?
Another spot check, Bob?
I don't know, why the hell are you asking me? Well, there's only one thing that can save these people now. That's right, my uncle's old high school stoner rock band. And is that John Ratzenberger as one of the band members?
Holy coyote!
Hey, fellas, I don't think you're doing that right. They get run off the road by some of Vincent's traps, but come on, man, don't eat these guys. I kinda like their song. Can't you just capture the members of Rat or something? Oh well, maybe he just wants to teach these guys how to invent death metal. That's what it sounds like. So if you haven't guessed, Vincent's technique is to cut people's vocal cords so they can't call for help, then bury them up to their necks and fatten them up so they can be turned into meat. Pretty disturbing, but it is still better than factory farming.
Funny looking critters, ain't they, Vincent?
Yeah, maybe so. But you know as well as I do, it takes all kinds of critters
To make Farmer Vincent fritters.
Oh yeah? Because I only see people, which means your slogan is false advertising. I mean, hell, in Europe they at least have the decency to put some horse in there. Also, if you pride yourself on all-natural ingredients, you should probably take this guy's ridiculously fake beard off. Or just put on your J.R. Ewing outfit, whatever. I suppose this is as good a time as any to hear Vincent's origin story.
Well, we had this old dog. It used to bother Granny, barking through her naps and all that, so one day she asked me to shush it for her. I shushed it all right.
And Granny liked it so much, she nearly ate the whole pooch herself.
She knew she was eating a dog?
Hey, don't look disgusted. You act like you've never had Taco Bell before. Oh well, maybe a boat ride will cheer her up.
So, you must be going a little stir-crazy up at that motel with nothing to do.
Yeah, it's almost like she should just go home or something. But wait a minute, could there be some romance blossoming between these two?
I was just kind of hoping you might want to go see the new movie at the drive-in.
What is it?
It's a monster that challenged the world.
Just make sure you don't take her to see The Giant Claw. That's a second date movie. And I'm not sure about this drive-in they're going to. It looks like it's been taken over by an R-rated Benny Hill sketch. I would play Yakety Sax, but I think the movie's playing the country and western version of it for me.
Tom! Now get back in that vehicle before I make a rest! Move! Let's go!
What was all that about?
Had to earn that R rating somehow. So while these two are giving me ideas for future videos, Vincent decides to kidnap some extras from an 80s ski movie.
Will you look at those stupid cows?
Something's weird. They look fake.
Okay, if it took you that long to realize that, you deserve to be sausage. Why is the black character always the first to go, even though she's actually not the first victim in this movie? The other girl gets away, but how's Terry and Bruce's date going?
Bruce. Please don't.
Oh shit, I think he just found his kink. Why do I get the feeling Bruce originally wanted to take her to go see I Spit on Your Grave? They're interrupted when the girl from earlier calls on Bruce's radio, but I'm more concerned about the fact that Terry seems weirdly okay that he just tried to assault her a minute ago. They decide to give chase, but they're stopped by a pothole.
Okay, start slow, then when I yell, stand on it!
Also one of his kinks? And Bruce's biggest weakness as a sheriff? Hi, Jinx. Vincent might want to get back to the motel. I think Gallagher's trying to steal some of his meat.
Guess who owns this place?
Roy Rogers.
Nah, he asked for too much money. And I guess Rory's Hugh Hefner now? Oh well, the important thing is these two enjoyed their date.
I had a real good time. Thanks a lot.
Just make sure you don't try and rape me again, you scamp. Oh, right, the customers. These two check in under the impression that this is a swingers motel, because who wouldn't want to have group sex with these two? Seriously, I cannot think of a bigger boner killer than that.
Edie, where's my jelly?
I stand corrected. Huh, and here I thought I was the only one who got turned on by Wolfman Jack cameos. And don't make sausage out of these two. They're just gonna taste like KY jelly and low self-esteem. Terry seems to have taken a liking to Vincent, probably because he doesn't do creepy shit like this. However, Ida doesn't seem to like having Terry around, so she decides to take care of her by taking her tubing. Wait, what? At this point, you may have noticed that for a movie about a farmer who kidnaps people and grinds them into meat, there's surprisingly little horror in this horror comedy. Well, there's a reason for that. Originally, the script was a lot darker and more violent, but Kevin Connor only agreed to direct on the condition they tone down the violence and play up the comedic aspects. Makes sense. I mean, who goes to a movie where this is the most famous production photo and expects it to be violent? And I think Ida may have an ulterior motive for taking her tubing. I'm not sure that sound came from the tube. Ida tries drowning Terry, although if she wanted to kill her, she had a perfect opportunity in the slaughterhouse earlier. Thankfully, Vincent comes by and saves her.
I'm so sorry about what happened. I hope you'll forgive me.
Yes, of course I do.
Why are you so okay with people assaulting you? Maybe it's because attempted murder really turns her on.
Listen, cover yourself.
What's the matter?
He started acting in the 40s. He's not really used to seeing more than a girl's ankles on screen. Vincent says they need to be married first, and surprisingly, Terry accepts. Well, at least this means we get another Wolfman Jack cameo.
I believe I'm gonna have a glory fit.
But Bruce is not going to be happy about Terry marrying Vincent.
Are you and Vincent?
Yeah, we're getting married tomorrow afternoon.
I'm so happy for you. Now yell at Bruce to get the fuck out like a normal person. Or just watch him be a creep some more, whatever you feel like.
Boy, are you gonna be disappointed when he gets out of those overalls on his wedding night and is a shriveled up prune.
I don't know, couldn't possibly be any worse than this. And I shouldn't be surprised this is a shotgun wedding. They decide to celebrate their impending nuptials, and Ida even shows off her famous party trick.
Woo!
Ew! And I don't think you need to roofie her, Vincent. She seemed pretty willing earlier.
She's out. Let's go to work.
Yeah, time to harvest your crops by giving them a light show?
Now, as you check out the swirling colors, notice how your heads become more and more mellow.
Well, this doesn't seem so bad. This is probably how these guys spend their evenings anyway. But uh-oh, looks like they're about to go from metalheads to deadheads.
Oh, sometimes I wonder about the karmic implications of these acts. I can no more take credit for the good we've done here tonight than if that great pilot in the sky had blessed each of them with a bolt of lightning through their hearts.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Rory Calhoun is actually pretty damn good in this. A lot of old school actors could have easily looked at a movie like this as nothing but an opportunity for a quick paycheck and just sleepwalk through it, but to his credit, he doesn't do that. Forget standing and walking, Rory Calhoun's the guy who's always a pro, goddammit. Alright, better get to work. These gas station burgers aren't gonna make themselves. Meanwhile, Bruce does some detective work and realizes something's up. And also that he's kind of a crappy sheriff for not figuring this out sooner. He tells Terry that Vincent's the one who crashed their motorcycle, but unfortunately for them, Honey Boo Boo's mom overhears the whole thing.
It's time for your lesson, honey.
Congratulations, Bruce. You're officially the most useless sheriff ever. But what's this? Looks like Farmer Vincent's food is revolting. And is also escaping. Oh look, they're free range now. Terry seems a little upset that her fiancé is actually a psycho cannibal. It's amazing what you find out about people after you've known them for more than a few days.
Look at me, I said. What do you see?
The star of Rollerblade Warriors? Well, that does it. We're gonna use you for the McNugget meat now, little missy. Ida steps out for a smoke and runs into the Night of the Gurgling Dead, and the result is like if David Lynch directed the Thriller video. But that's not gonna stop Vincent from making his meat.
What right do you have to play God?
I'm not trying to play God. I wouldn't even know how to begin. I'm just helping out. There's too many people in the world. Not enough food.
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Rory Calhoun is surprisingly good in this. Seriously, he is one of the most affable psychos ever. How is it the guy who slaughters people for food somehow comes off as more likable than Bruce? Terry's momentarily saved when her old boyfriend, or dad, or whoever this guy's supposed to be bursts in, but he didn't count on facing Rory Calhoun. Turns out he knows how to do a lot more than just stand and walk. He can also choke a motherfucker out. Looks like Bruce is Terry's only hope now. Well, she's screwed. And when you're an old Western star and there's no train tracks around, just tie a girl to a conveyor belt.
Vincent?
Oh shit, it's Leatherface if he was sponsored by Oscar Mayer. Well, there's only one way to solve this situation. Chainsaw duel. You know, I'm beginning to understand why Tobe Hooper was asked to direct this movie. I think the only thing the scene's missing is Dennis Hopper yelling that he's the Lord of the Harvest. At least now I know that photo wasn't lying to me, even if the movie didn't get to it until the last 10 minutes. And Vincent learns that while wearing a pig's head may provide some protection, it also seriously limits your visibility. As my dying wish, I want to be turned into pork rinds.
My whole life has been a lie. I used preservatives.
Alright, that's pretty funny. Oh, and I guess Ida's dead too now. But not before she farts out a couple of music stings. And so, with Vincent and Ida both dead, Terry leaves with Bruce. Because, sure, I guess he's the better choice here. I mentioned earlier that Kevin Connor only agreed to direct on the condition that the movie's violence was toned down and played more for laughs. The thing is, I don't know if that was the best decision. Again, considering this is the most famous photo from it, the actual movie is surprisingly tame. It's definitely an off-the-wall idea, and there are certain moments of inspired weirdness in it, but most of the time the movie feels like it's holding back. And a horror movie, even a comedic satirical one like this, shouldn't feel that way. To give you an example, something like Evil Dead 2 isn't considered a classic because it's subtle and restrained. No one looks at this picture and says to themselves, "Oh, I'll bet whatever that's from is tasteful." The exception to this is the ending chainsaw duel. This is the one part where we get the kind of balls-out craziness suggested by the premise, but that's only in the last 10 minutes. Another highlight is Rory Calhoun, who manages to be likable, yet you can still tell there's something off about him, and he is arguably the movie's biggest asset. There's parts of the movie that make it worth a look, but if you're expecting something as energetic and envelope-pushing as Dead Alive, you're probably going to be disappointed. Well, that's all for now. Now, if you'll excuse me, this movie has made me hungry. What? Don't look at me like that. It's veal.
You're eating out my heart and soul, babe. You're feasting on my better side. Whoever thought you'd be this way, girl? You never know what a pretty face can hide.
My God. Oh, glory.